regardless of the fact that we are attacking your fundamental rights or limiting your fundamental rights, and the Charter says that's wrong, we're still going to go ahead and do with it. It's basically a loophole that allows a majority to override fundamental rights of a minority.
I don't see a problem with this. A lot of people should see a problem with this, including myself. And I could find an obvious problem with this, but I also understand that, you know, what benefits the many, like that should outweigh what benefits, you know, the minority, right?
I
Like,
mean, that's democracy in its pretty much in its summation. So I
well, this is
get
what I'm
that part
saying.
of what he's
So,
saying.
and if you live here, then you are a part of that. Right? You could even just dumb it all the way down. Dumb it all the way down, just to simple life lessons. The reality is sometimes you got to give up something in order to get something else. You don't get everything you want. That's my mom taught me that when I was growing up. In order for me to live in her home, eat this free food, this free shelter, all this heat, there's certain things I have to give up. If I don't like it, and she said this too, I could get the hell out.
Right.
Now, of course, you have these options as a citizen of Canada. You could leave, but then you say to yourself, all right, where can I go where this isn't a problem? Then you start looking at your options, and you might say to yourself, well, Canada's not so bad after all. My thoughts.
Well, my thing that I took away from this is simply one segment where he said that, you know, this is the majority making the decision for the minority. But when I heard this, what I asked the people around me is who is the majority? Who's determining is the majority the people who have been vaccinated, or is the majority the people who wanted to actually get vaccinated? Because those are two different groups. The people who are vaccinated, not all of them wanted to get that vaccination, you know, so they included in the majority
Of
now
course they are.
because they're vaccinated.
Of course they're included.
Okay, well, in my mind, the majority would be the people who would want to make the decision freely and of their own mind that they wanted to get the vaccination or not. That would be the decision that I would think would determine a majority or a minority. And if I were to look at it from that aspect, I don't think the majority agrees with this decision that we can just go against the fundamental rights.
That's the wrong aspect to look at it at, because if you're saying that the majority should not include the people who got it because they felt like they were forced into getting it. So in other words, those people who felt like they were forced into getting it, they already gave something up.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they be included? They're okay with giving something up. So yes, if I gave something up,
yeah,
already, I'd be like, all right, well, what are you complaining about, Mr. I don't want to get vaxxed, or Mrs. I don't want to get vaxxed? I had to give something up. And you mean to tell me that you're going to mess up my life and my ability to breathe freely because you just don't want to give up anything? I already gave something up. Yeah, nigga, get vaxxed too.
I believe the people who didn't get vaccinated also gave up some stuff, as in their jobs, as in a lot of their freedoms to be able to go out to restaurants and clubs and bars. I'm pretty sure people who didn't get vaccinated sacrificed some stuff too. And their decision was harder to make.
I don't think so. I don't think so. You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me?
The easier decision in this case was absolutely to get vaccinated. That was the easier decision. It allows you to do all the things that you want to do. You're traveling. You can keep your job. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about being scrutinized. You get your hospital beds. You know what I'm saying? That's what getting vaccinated gets you. That is definitely the easier route. 100%.
Okay, first of all, if you are not vaccinated, you can still work. Second of all, if you are not vaccinated, you can still be admitted to a hospital.
Certain jobs. You can still work at certain jobs. Certain jobs if you're unvaccinated.
Obviously,
not all jobs. A lot of people lost their jobs. RESPCT.
Hello, I said you can still work. I didn't say you can still work where there's a vaccination mandate. I said work. You can still go to the hospital. So what are you giving up? You're giving up.
So nurses and doctors should find a job at Mickey D's now, you're saying?
What I'm saying is you can still work.
Take your 6-figure salary and go find you a nice minimum wage job to go find to work
So
at, is what you're
when we
saying.
talk about nurses and doctors specifically, right? We also have to remember nurses and doctors work in the field of medicine. If there's a global pandemic and there is a vaccine, medicine that can prevent people from going to the doctors and nurses' place of employment and having them overrun, overworked, et cetera, et cetera. But these doctors and nurses who work in medicine don't believe in the medicine to fix this problem.
Right.
I mean, we're probably better off without them. No offense to anybody who was
They're
putting.
probably more educated
But
about the situation than
well,
we are,
clearly
though.
they're not, because
And
there's
that was a
also
decision they made
because
after their
also
education,
because
right?
also there's doctors and nurses, the majority of them, by the way, who
Mhm.
have been vaccinated and who still work. So you're talking about a very segmented group of people. The bulk of doctors and nurses are fully vaccinated and boosted. So you're
When
talking
it
about a
comes to
very
when it
small
comes to
group,
rights
very
and
small,
freedoms,
very
though,
small.
when it comes to rights and freedoms, though, more rights and freedoms are taken away from people who choose not to get vaccinated over those who do get vaccinated. That's just a fact.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so that's just the situation that we're in right now. So pretty much why I'm bringing that up is I'm saying it's tougher to have made the decision to say, you know what, I don't want it. I understand that I can't travel, I can't do all of this, but I don't feel like I want to get this, and I'm going to stick to my decision. I'm not going to let what is happening around me force my decision. There's a lot of people who let what is happening around them force their decision,
And
is
that's
what
the
I'm
other,
saying.
okay, and that's the other thing
So they
too. And
can't be part of the majority. They have to be
and hold on, and I want to speak to
quote
that.
unquote
And I want to speak to
minority.
that because
Yeah.
a lot of people say, oh, you were forced. You were forced. The bulk of people who got the vaccine, you were forced. You were coerced. They put the foot on your neck. How about people that just believe in the science and they just got it because they wanted to? Like,
Those are part of the majority.
no, but
Those are
what I'm
people who are
saying
I
is
count as majority.
I know, but I feel like people like yourself try to overrepresent the number of
Those
people
people,
who were air quote forced. I think that number's a lot smaller than you think it is, because you're only communicating, and me too, I don't know everybody in the world, but you're communicating with people who are like-minded like you, and I'm doing the same. So I think that number is being ballooned. I don't think it's as big as you think it is. A lot of people just say, hey, I don't want to get this. I believe in the vaccine. I'm going to get it. That's why I got it. I work from home. My employer didn't say get it or you're fired. I got it. I waited. I researched as far as the information that I believed was credible, and I made a decision.
yeah, I listen.
There's
I'm
a
only
lot of people
speaking
like
on
me out
behalf of the
there.
people I'm surrounded by. Obviously, I can only speak on the people I'm surrounded by. I can't
Me
speak
too.
on behalf of the world or Canada. But all I'm saying is there's people I know. I have friends who have gotten it so they can spend time with their family. I have friends who have gotten it so they can keep their jobs. I have friends who have gotten it so they can travel. I've had friends who say, you know what, I like going out to restaurants and having drinks and stuff. I want to be able to do that. I just have very few people around me who I've heard say, yes, I got the vaccine because I want to prevent COVID. Like those were never the words that came out of their mouth. There was always some other reason. So when it comes to me and that specific part of Justin Trudeau's speech, majority minority, I'm thinking that they are skewing the numbers as far as what the majority is, or maybe their definition of the majority is just different from mine. But in my mind, the majority should be the people who want to get this actually, and that's the people who, with all their rights and freedoms, without any of these shit being taken away, would make a decision, yes, I want to go get this. That would be a majority. If a lot of people were along those lines, then I could see him saying, yes, we have to make this decision for everybody else. But I don't see that as being the case. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, fair. Everybody is going to have their opinion on that, because even if Justin Trudeau opened up a chart and showed me the numbers, I still wouldn't believe those numbers. So,
it's still wild that he could go on TV and just say, listen, we know that we're going against your fundamental rights. And guess what? We're still going to do it.
Yeah, he said
we're
it's a
still
loophole.
going to do it. It's the way but it's the way he said it. Come on. It's like that's a TV show. We're still going to do it. That's the evil villain line.
Well, guess what? He did it. Viewing public, what are your thoughts here, man? Does he got cojones for doing this? Do you say that? And sorry about that horrible accent, but do you rate this? Because this is politics after all, and
He's getting straight up.
lie. He just said what it is, what you were thinking, what you knew. He's like, yeah, we're doing it. And
he just got fed up.
Let us know, man. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.